MJ.
You like? I did that for you. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
You gotta phase that music out.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do
and
that.
It just ends.
How about the last one? It was so loud at the end.
Yeah.
It was bad.
We gotta work on our soundboard.
Well, I'll tell you what. We got a couple people now that are working for us.
Yeah,
working for the show. Maybe we get someone with that skill set. You know?
Looking at the screen, it's a little dark. Or is that just the way that's
probably
tilted?
Yeah, you're fine. Okay. Yeah. Just
All
look
right.
at the teleprompters. Don't worry about what's happening over here.
Mailbag.
Yeah, mailbag.
First mailbag of the year.
Yes. Always a good one. Keep the questions coming.
What's the website?
EOWLcoachesoffice@gmail.com. You can send your results there. We'll make sure Rich Donity gets them, Hall of Famer Rich Donity.
Yep.
And we'll get the mailbag. We actually have I probably have enough for a couple of weeks. Let's just go 3 each. How's that sound? 3 each. Right. You want to start or you want me to start?
You can start.
All right. This one is from JTandme@yahoo.com. JTandme at yahoo.com. And their question for us is, who is the best heavyweight in the league?
I'm going to have to go with Jack Del Garbino.
I'm going to have to go with Jack Del Garbino as well. Simple one. Yeah, that's a pretty easy one. I don't know if JT and me is Dad JT and me, like, because they're both JT.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Mom. She wants to know. I don't know if it's young JT wanting to know whether we think he's the best heavyweight in the league.
He is.
I think he's not only the best heavyweight in the league, I think he's the best heavyweight in the state, and I think he's the best heavyweight in the country. I'm going that far with him.
All right.
Because he's a big guy that can wrestle. Yeah.
All right. I got at Little Rower DF. At Little Rower wants to know, how do you handle, and you've dealt with this, and certainly a lot of guys are now, how do you handle late season football runs as a wrestling coach? There's obviously, and I think we have some plans to talk about football and wrestling, the connections here at some point this year.
Yeah.
But how do you handle that as a coach?
First of all, and actually I have a mailbag that's similar to this, but we'll go to that next maybe. But I would say this: you have to have a good relationship with your football coach. In Canfield, we have a great one. Mike Pavlansky, his whole staff. Mike used to be the head coach at Menor. At that time, Joe Hatta was the wrestling coach. They became buddies. They understood the connection. But you have to, I think Coach Pitts has done a pretty good job. I'd love to see how Coach Cordero's doing it and Gerard, because they're going to, play this Friday for state championship, and we're rooting for them. I think you just have to change the front part of your schedule. You got to go to kind of what Steve did. Hey, we're going to go to individual tournaments, so the guys that aren't in football are ready. But football and wrestling shape are two different worlds.
For sure.
And I think, as good as your football team is, maybe initially it's a setback, but they bring the winning attitude in the wrestling room. And I think the winning wrestling, that attitude gets pushed on back to football. So I think the positive drastically outweigh the negative.
Absolutely.
What do you think? You think anything is one thing that we should do, to tell coaches what they should do with the football wrestling comparison?
I mean, I just think in general, both coaches should be encouraging their kids to do both. I mean, that's Canfield. We've had a run of success at both, and there are definitely the correlations there between football and wrestling and helping each other. So
here's my second one.
Yep.
This one is from specializeearly@hotmail.com.
Okay.
Specialize early, yeah. And this person wants to know: do you think wrestling helps make better football players?
I would say so. Yes.
I used to say that, and I know we just talked about it, but I think I'm going to approach this one differently.
Okay.
I'm going to start telling people that there's no connection.
Okay.
Because at some point, if you can't figure out that wrestling and football are the same exact sport, you talk about concussions, you got to know how to fall. Hey, you don't lead with your head in wrestling. Hey, your head's to the outside. If you're doubling guys, you're tackling. It's a no-brainer on so many levels.
If you're on the line, it's just straight hand fighting.
It's hand fighting, it's balance, it's quick feet, it's all those things. And so I think I'm going to start telling people there's no connection. Because I'm thinking to myself, why let everybody else in on a secret?
Yeah,
we tried for years to promote both. If you're a football coach and you think there's no connection, or if you're a wrestling coach and you don't think there's a connection, then keep thinking that.
Yeah.
Because then we want to play in football and we want to wrestle you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
So I'm going the other way.
I like
I'm going to start saying no connection at all, specialize as early as possible, because then Campbell's going to get you on schedule.
Good. Smart.
Does that make sense?
I like it.
Okay, go ahead. What do you got?
At Jordan the Hammer.
Okay.
What advice, and you went through this in your career, where you were coaching and then you started a family, and I'm sure that was tough. What advice would you give for a coach who's starting a family? We've got a couple in our league I know of, Coach Shaw, Coach Pitts.
Yeah.
What advice would you give those guys and anybody else that might be going through that kind of balancing act there?
Yeah. One word, Starbucks.
Starbucks.
That's
okay.
it. Triple shots of espresso, quad shots. There's just going to be a time, because I don't know if you're doing it right, if you're coaching right, if whatever profession you're in, if you're doing it right, it's exhausting. So just being a full-time whatever, bridge builder, a full-time, physician, a guy that's in charge of physicians and practices, if you do something like that, a teacher, anything. If you do it right, it's tiring, it's exhausting. And now you add coaching to it. If you do it right, it's exhausting. Yeah. You don't just pass out uniforms in November and collect them in March. You pour your heart and soul into it. So you've got that. You've got the most important thing in your life, and that's your children and your family. So first of all, you got to find the right person that understands that. There's no doubt about it. You got to marry the right person. But two, it's going to be a whirlwind. And the best advice I could give to Sean, give to Steve, there has to be time in your week where wrestling and your job gets set aside.
Who the hell's Sean?
What's that?
Who's Sean?
What did I say?
I said Sean and Steve.
Shaw.
Oh,
Shaw.
Sean.
No, Shaw and Steve. Yeah, I mean, those guys, like for me, it was Sunday.
Yeah.
Every Sunday was a day with my daughter, and it helped us immensely. Plus, it helped Michelle.
Yeah.
I have something here.
All right.
My third mailbag here is Jason at moreoptionsrealty.com.
Oh.
Okay. And he said, does the show have any sponsors this year?
We don't, as of right now.
Well, we do have one.
You're right, we do.
Who is it?
More Options Realty.
Yes, it is.
More Options Realty.
Yeah. And More Options Realty, located on Market Street, they actually built for us an entire podcast studio here. We've got a couple different rooms to work with. We're using their network. We're using all of their backdrops, all their mixer boards, that we got chairs out there for fans. We're using all of their equipment, and it's working out pretty well.
It is.
If anybody's interested in sponsoring us, we're kind of on the edge. We may go one or two things, sponsors, but I would say just email us.
Yeah, we got to spruce up this white wall behind us.
I think that's going to happen soon. By next week, maybe. What else you got? You got one more?
Yeah, I got withapension.com.
Oh, nice.
They want to know what your top 3 songs to work out to when you were wrestling.
Wow. Yeah. That's back in the day where it was straw. Wrestling on straw. I was a big fan of the Rocky soundtrack. And then, it's probably you just put it in, you press play. It's a cassette. That time was cassette.
Yeah.
I'd go Rocky soundtrack for sure.
All right.
And just let it play.
Just play. Right.
Vision Quest soundtrack, let it play.
Okay.
I'd skip over the
What do you think Donnie
I'd skip over the Madonna song.
Yeah, that's garbage. What do you think Donnie would say?
I think Donnie would say he doesn't listen to music because he's already ready to wrestle. He doesn't need any more fired up than he already is.
Yeah.
And then he'd say Creedence Clearwater Revival. That's what I think. What do you think?
CCR.
CCR,
yeah, he's a big CCR guy.
He is a big guy, yeah.
I've driven the car with him recently. He's got into Sirius Radio. He's big into the 60s and 70s channels.
Got that infrastructure money. He can afford Sirius. Yeah.
Just construction guys.
Yeah, I know.
All right, what do you got?
I was going to play us out, but I'm afraid it's just going to blast like it did last time. So can we just end this segment and I can practice that a little bit?
It's probably better, yeah.
Okay, good. That's our mailbag first season, right? Second
one of the
season,
season.
first week. Yep.
Thanks,
guys.